Super Force, Secret Location Prophecy, Chapter 3. This chapter, chapter 3, I would call like a Super Force frequency eye chamber. Like, they were locked in on a target of escapism. It presented like a culture of curated force in the universe that mastered discipline to a very I would say flexible kind of steamy eyes, cat eyes. Um but but at the same time, like, one of my favorite pieces on some of the eye pieces, like the actual sight of the eyes presented like gods and goddess eyes. If you were to look up maybe your favorite untapped deeper look into a spiritual discernment of like what goddess or God lives in you, as far as a guardian, and the force of like just graduated old army. It was kind of like a Korean army is an ice storm with like a ACC trans arrow frequency that force out like the snemy eyed pearl squirting lashes of eyes as a god or goddess. And the frequency on the force in the universe of like just super force frequency of like a semi-eyed character. There you go. Of a god or goddess. Now this the steamy eyes represented like the spirit of like a super saiyan blasting oval of O's army. And in this army it presents like once again a Japanese tassel that uh represents like lotus flowers, a bouquet of lotus flowers is escapism down like a metal train in the brain, or maybe an eye force, where the actual force of the sight presented, yeah, Sting, it was kind of like all the plays that led up to like escapism was simply putting out the fire, escaping out the fire. It had like an uh, escape, like project building stairway piece. Like the stairway piece is force as far as like how serious of a eye cat this cat was. Well, his sincerity in his eyes just represented like major business, major major account work. Like people account on the cat eyes that it was just always a real steamy escapism kind of day. Um, it kind of reminded you of like nights you cried yourself to sleep over like being a victor, and I guess some days that's what the tears of the semi eyes led up to. Like for every frequency and the force of the universe. It presented like a god or goddess. Like the piece I would have to say would be like a furry haired cat. I mean, in this piece, the god or goddess had like, yes, sincere eyes, but that was his character kind of like in Belly. So the character, once again, he was all the characters forced out as like a form of escapism. Uh, when I say the dude could fight, like his fighting skill, as far as maybe as a force in the universe, his superhuman strength once again were his eyes. He could look in your eyes, and like when you look in his eyes, they kind of like form like steam. And the steam, the more it built up, the more you knew Rain was in a train of a trance down his like center spiraling escapism of O's army. Like the rain and the steam forced out his eyes. You can see like a ACC trance army forming from all type like forces in the universe of maybe like a uh ice hell presentation. Huh. I mean, as far as like a chakra, once again, if a black belt had a place of Zen in Jiu-Jitsu, its place of Zen probably would be like the steam in the temple of the skies. Like the steamy eyes led up to a force in the temple of heaven, the tears in the walls of heaven. And that's what like the escapism of like the wall play was about. Like escaping to the temples in the skies of heaven as a super force secret location prophecy.